The Stone Age represents the longest chapter in human history, spanning approximately 4 million years from the first use of stone tools to the advent of metalworking around 3000 BCE. This vast epoch is traditionally divided into 3 major periods: the Paleolithic, Old Stone Age, Mesolithic, Middle Stone Age, and Neolithic, New Stone Age. Each period witnessed remarkable developments in human technology, social organization, and adaptation to diverse environments. Understanding these eras provides crucial insight into how our ancestors survived, thrived, and ultimately laid the foundations for modern civilization. The Paleolithic period constitutes roughly 99% of human technological history. During this immense time span, early humans evolved from tool-using hominins to anatomically modern Homo sapiens, capable of abstract thought, symbolic expression, and complex social cooperation. The Paleolithic is further subdivided into lower, middle, and upper periods, each marked by distinct technological and cognitive advances. The story begins approximately 4 million years ago in East Africa, where our distant ancestors first recognized that striking one stone against another could produce sharp edges useful for cutting meat, processing plant materials, and working wood. These earliest tools, known as Oldowan technology, were simple but revolutionary. A stone cobble struck with another stone would fracture, creating sharp flakes that could slice through tough animal hide far more efficiently than teeth or fingernails. By 7 million years ago, Homo erectus had developed the more sophisticated Acheulean tradition, characterized by the iconic hand axe. These teardrop-shaped tools required considerable skill and forward planning to create, suggesting an important cognitive leap. The toolmaker needed to visualize the final product and execute a precise sequence of strikes to achieve the desired symmetry and sharpness. Some hand axes were so finely crafted that they likely served ceremonial or social purposes beyond mere utility. Paleolithic humans were highly mobile hunter-gatherers who lived in small, flexible bands, typically numbering between 20 and 50 individuals. Their survival depended on intimate knowledge of their environment, including animal migration patterns, seasonal availability of plant foods, water sources, and the properties of various materials for tool making and shelter construction. Contrary to popular imagery of constant danger and scarcity, archaeological evidence suggests that Paleolithic hunter-gatherers actually enjoyed a relatively balanced diet and adequate leisure time. They consumed a diverse range of foods, including large game animals, small mammals, fish, shellfish, birds, eggs, nuts, seeds, roots, tubers, fruits, and leafy greens. This dietary variety provided excellent nutrition and protected against the deficiency diseases that would later plague agricultural societies dependent on a narrow range of crops. Hunting strategies evolved considerably over the Paleolithic period. Early humans likely began as opportunistic scavengers, following predators like lions and saber-toothed cats to claim leftover meat from their kills. Stone tools allowed them to break open bones to extract nutritious marrow that other scavengers couldn't access. Gradually, humans became more active hunters, developing spears, atlatls, spear throwers, and eventually bows and arrows that allowed them to kill from a distance. Cooperative hunting was essential for taking down large game. Mammoth, bison, reindeer, and wild horses provided enormous quantities of meat, hide, bone, and sinew, but required coordinated group efforts to hunt successfully. Some sites show evidence of drive hunting, where animals were stampeded toward cliffs or into natural traps. Such endeavors required planning, communication, and social cohesion that reinforced group bonds. Perhaps no single innovation transformed human existence more profoundly than the control of fire. Evidence suggests that hominins began using fire between 5 million and 400,000 years ago, though the exact timeline remains debated among archaeologists. Sites such as Wonderwork Cave in South Africa and Gesher Benot Yaakov in Israel contain ash deposits and burned bone fragments that may represent some of the earliest controlled use of fire. Fire provided multiple advantages that fundamentally altered human ecology. Most obviously, it offered warmth, allowing humans to inhabit colder climates and survive Ice Age conditions. Fire also provided light, extending productive hours beyond sunset and creating a social hearth where groups could gather, share food, tell stories, and strengthen social bonds. These evening gatherings likely played a crucial role in the development of language and the transmission of cultural knowledge. Cooking was perhaps fire's most transformative application. Heat breaks down tough fibers in meat and plant materials, making food easier to chew and digest while killing parasites and bacteria. This meant humans could extract more calories and nutrients from the same amount of food. Some scientists argue that cooking was essential to human brain evolution, as our large, energy-hungry brains required the efficient calorie intake that only cooked food could provide. Fire also served as protection against predators. A campfire kept dangerous animals at bay, allowing humans to sleep more safely. Additionally, fire became a tool for landscape management. Controlled burns could clear underbrush, encourage the growth of edible plants, and attract game animals to fresh vegetation, effectively shaping ecosystems to human advantage. The Mesolithic period, also called the Middle Stone Age, represents a transitional phase between the Paleolithic and Neolithic eras. This period began at the end of the last Ice Age, when retreating glaciers dramatically transformed landscapes across the northern hemisphere. Rising temperatures created new forests, changed coastlines, and altered animal distributions, forcing human populations to adapt their survival strategies. Mesolithic peoples developed increasingly sophisticated and specialized tools. Microliths, tiny, precisely shaped stone blades, could be mounted in wooden or bone handles to create composite tools like sickles, harpoons, and arrows. This modular approach to tool design represented a significant cognitive advance. Rather than making a complete new tool when one part broke, only the damaged component needed replacement. The bow and arrow, which may have been invented in the late Paleolithic but became widespread during the Mesolithic, revolutionized hunting. This technology allowed hunters to kill game from a safe distance with greater accuracy than spears. Different arrow designs emerged for different purposes: barbed points for fish, small points for birds, and larger points for deer or boar. Fishing technology also advanced considerably during this period. Nets, fish traps, hooks, and lacers, multi-pronged fish spears, allowed exploitation of marine and freshwater resources with unprecedented efficiency. Coastal and riverside settlements became more common as people recognized the reliability and abundance of aquatic food sources. Unlike their Paleolithic ancestors who ranged widely across landscapes, Mesolithic groups often established seasonal camps that they returned to year after year. These semi-permanent settlements were typically located near reliable water sources and at the intersection of multiple ecological zones, allowing access to diverse resources throughout the year. Many Mesolithic sites show evidence of specialized activities. Some locations serve primarily as tool-making workshops where high-quality stone was quarried and processed. Others functioned as hunting camps near animal migration routes or fishing stations along productive waterways. This increased settlement stability and resource specialization hints at the social complexity that would characterize the upcoming Neolithic period. The Neolithic period witnessed the most profound transformation in human history: the agricultural revolution. Over several millennia, human societies in multiple regions independently transitioned from foraging to food production. This shift began around 10,000 BCE in the Fertile Crescent of the Middle East, followed by independent agricultural developments in China, Mesoamerica, the Andes, Sub-Saharan Africa, and New Guinea. The transition to agriculture wasn't sudden or inevitable. Early farming actually required more labor than hunting and gathering, while providing a less varied diet. So why did it happen? Multiple factors likely contributed. climate change at the end of the Ice Age that favored certain wild grasses, population pressure in particularly favorable regions, and the gradual accumulation of knowledge about plant and animal behavior. The domestication of plants and animals fundamentally altered both human society and the species we cultivated. Wheat, barley, rice, maize, potatoes, and other crops were selectively bred over generations to enhance desirable traits like larger seeds, thinner seed coats, and non-shattering stems that kept grain on the plant until harvest. These plants became increasingly dependent on human cultivation, while humans became dependent on them for sustenance. Animal domestication followed a similar pattern. Dogs, descended from wolves, were likely the first domesticated animals, perhaps as early as 15,000 years ago, initially serving as hunting companions and camp guards. Sheep, goats, cattle, and pigs were domesticated between 9,000 and 8,000 BCE in the Middle East. These animals provided not just meat, but also milk, wool, leather, bone, and labor for plowing fields and transporting goods. The Neolithic lifestyle required permanent settlement. Farmers needed to stay near their fields throughout the growing season to plant, weed, water, and eventually harvest crops. This sedentism allowed the accumulation of material possessions that mobile hunter-gatherers couldn't carry. Storage became crucial. Grain needed to be saved as seed for the next planting and as food during winter months. Pottery, invented during the Neolithic, provided watertight, rodent-proof containers far superior to baskets or animal skin bags. Despite the period's name emphasizing stone tools, Neolithic technology actually represented the zenith of stone-working skill. Ground and polished stone axes were far more effective than chipped stone for clearing forests to create farmland. The time invested in grinding a stone tool to a smooth finish was repaid many times over in durability and cutting efficiency. Neolithic peoples also developed increasingly sophisticated construction techniques. Stone circles, passage tombs, and megalithic monuments like Stonehenge required enormous communal effort and advanced engineering knowledge. These structures likely served ceremonial, astronomical, and social purposes, reflecting the growing complexity of Neolithic society. Throughout the Stone Age, survival depended on cooperation. Small band sizes and kinship ties ensured that everyone knew everyone else intimately. Resources were typically shared according to need rather than hoarded. Successful hunters distributed meat throughout the group, both because they couldn't consume or preserve it all themselves and because social norms enforced generosity. Such sharing created reciprocal obligations and social bonds that strengthened group cohesion. Gender roles likely involved significant division of labor, though not necessarily the rigid separation imagined by earlier generations of scholars. Archaeological evidence suggests that both men and women hunted, gathered, and made tools, though perhaps with different emphases. Burial goods and skeletal analysis indicate that some women held positions of prestige and that individual personality and capability mattered as much as gender in determining social roles. Stone Age peoples created shelter appropriate to their environment and lifestyle. Paleolithic hunter-gatherers often used caves when available, but also constructed temporary dwellings from branches, animal skins, and mammoth bones. Some structures were quite sophisticated, with multiple rooms and stone-lined hearths. Clothing evolved from simple animal skins to more tailored garments. The invention of the eyed needle around 40,000 years ago allowed the creation of fitted clothing essential for surviving in cold climates. Evidence from burial sites and cave paintings suggests that Stone Age peoples also decorated themselves with jewelry, body paint, and elaborate hairstyles, indicating that personal adornment and social display were already important aspects of human culture. The Stone Age wasn't a primitive prologue to real history, but rather the foundation upon which all subsequent human achievement was built. During these vast stretches of time, our ancestors developed the cognitive abilities, social structures, and technological capabilities that define humanity. They learned to manipulate their environment, communicate through language and art, cooperate in complex social groups, and pass accumulated knowledge to subsequent generations. The skills perfected over millions of years, tool-making, fire management, hunting strategies, plant knowledge, and social cooperation, allowed humans to spread across every continent and adapt to virtually every terrestrial environment. By the end of the Neolithic period, humans had domesticated the plants and animals that still feed most of the world's population today, and had established the settlement patterns and social hierarchies that would characterize civilizations to come. Understanding the Stone Age reveals that human history is not simply a story of progress from ignorance to enlightenment. Our Stone Age ancestors were not intellectually inferior. They possessed the same cognitive abilities we have today. They were supremely adapted to their environments, deeply knowledgeable about the natural world, and capable of sophisticated problem-solving, artistic expression, and social organization. Their innovations in technology, social cooperation, and environmental management created the conditions that made all subsequent human development possible. As we face modern challenges related to sustainability, community, and our relationship with the natural world, perhaps there are lessons to be learned from our Stone Age ancestors who lived successfully on this planet for millions of years, maintaining a balance with their environment that we have disrupted in just a few thousand years of agricultural and industrial civilization.